Hello everybody, it's Dr. V. I'm back with your September monthly reading for your twin flame connection. Twin flame, soulmate, any kind of divine love. Really the label doesn't matter, it's how it resonates with you. Some people will land with twin flame, some people land with soulmate, some people land with divine counterpart. I mean, I've seen people use the term sacred sidekick, sacred partner, whatever, you know, whatever works for you. So, thank you to everybody who likes, comments, and subscribes. I appreciate all your love and support. Also, if you want to book a private reading with me, you can do so by clicking the description box, look in the description box below, and you'll see a link at the bottom, which is just, if you click it, it'll just take you right to my scheduling website, and you can see the different readings that are available and how to connect there. You can also reach out to me on Instant Go. I tend to respond to those in the mornings, first thing in the morning. And so if you ask a question in the afternoon, I won't usually get to it until the next morning, but it's usually not more than a wait than, a day or so, even less sometimes. So with that being said, let's just go ahead and jump right in. Spirit, please use me as a clear channel for communication. May the messages that come through be in the highest good of all those concerned. I draw a sacred circle around this space, setting my ego to the outside, that only the messages that come through be those that serve this connection, that serve humanity, that serve divine love, the highest good of all those involved. So, I'm going to start off with the Divine Masculine, Divine Feminine Reunited deck by Christabel Jessica. And this is just going to give us an overview of what is going to be happening this month. So basically the energies that the Divine Feminine will be in and the energies that Divine Masculine will be in, and sort of the shadow and the light of the connection, what they'll be working through together in this connection. So first off, Divine Masculine is bringing in Thor, god of action. This is the energy of somebody who finally just is ready to take some steps, ready to do some things. So it could be that the masculines have been in a space of, well, not really could, because it's been showing up pretty consistently, that they've been in a space of kind of inertia, not moving, not going forward, not feeling certain about what direction to take, really hesitating. Wanting to take action. There's been a lot of energy of wanting to make decisions and move forward, and then kind of hesitating at the start gate. But this is a card of action. This is where they're finally taking their hammer, so to speak, and putting it to use. No more sitting around idly waiting for things to happen. No more waiting for other people to take action for them. No more, it feels like they're moving out of this passive energy, because there's been a lot of masculines that have been in this passive energy, and a lot that have been letting other people make their decisions for them, letting other people lead their lives. And this is saying no more of that. This is that energy is passing through. It's no longer going to be present anymore. Now it's going to be get up and go time. Really, really wonderful space. And then we've got Freya. The Divine Feminines are in Freya. This is the goddess of sensuality. Excuse me while I take a sip of coffee. My giant mug. My brother bought me a mug for my birthday that literally holds it's like a mug big enough to swim in. I love it. So this goddess of sensuality is about two things. There's two energies that come through in this card for me. The first one is about sensual living. Sensual living is it's not necessarily being this overly sexualized being. People equate sensuality and sexuality, and that's not necessarily the case. Sensuality is about living a full-bodied sensual existence. So sensuality is about engaging your senses. This is about taking the time to actually smell your food instead of just eating, your food gets served and you just start shoving it in your mouth without any consciousness. This is about engaging your senses in your life. It's about learning how to smell, how to taste, how to feel, how to savor life, savor existing. That's one of the great things about practices like yoga and mindfulness and mindful breathing, is that you learn how to be present with your sensations. And so it feels like the feminines are really rising into that space of being able to engage their senses in their everyday living, as well as working with their sexuality and sensuality. So many feminines have experienced damage or harm or pain that was caused to their sexuality, which has resulted in a lot of feminines shutting down. So, for example, if you watched Aretha Franklin's funeral this weekend, you saw the debacle where the pastor groped Ariana Grande. And I've been watching this conversation that's been happening, and people are talking, like, women are like, how many of us have ever experienced that? And that look on your face when you're trying to be gracious because you're in a place where you don't feel like you can like scream, but you're very uncomfortable. And then you see like a lot of men that are responding, and women too, that are like, oh, he didn't mean it was an accident. But for me, whenever I see something like that happening in the collective, where it's like happening on the big screen and it's just playing out, what it's pointing to is an area of healing that's taking place. And so when I saw that and I saw the responses and what's going on, it's like that's something that is present right now. It has been present for a while. Women taking back their own power in their sexuality, healing sexual wounds from abuses, from misuses, from historical trauma, so on and so forth. And so it feels like a lot of the feminines are going to be really rising up into that energy and working through it. Really dealing with any kind of limiting beliefs or any kind of past pain that has come up, and moving through that to be able to stand in that power and that confidence of your own sexuality, where you don't feel like you have to hide it anymore, where there's no shame associated with it. When you have risen and you've healed in your sexuality, there's no shame attached to it. You don't buy into the old cultural tropes of, women are supposed to be this, or the Madonna whore dichotomy. Like that stuff just falls away because you become whole. And that's what it feels like the feminines are really going to be working on and healing a lot through September. So the shadow side of this connection is, oh, look at that. We've got 11-11. Look at that. 9 + 2 is 11, and 11. So the shadow side of the connection that people are working through is separation right now. So separation is such a necessary part of this connection. I know it's a difficult part, but it's necessary, because if we stayed in these connections that are triggering us and bringing up so much stuff that needs to be healed, we might implode. I mean, and I'm not saying that like to be funny. I'm literally saying like you might not be able to handle it. It's too much. So much comes up in this twin flame journey, in the sacred kind of romantic, or I don't even want to call it romantic, because I really believe that the twin flame connection has been way over romanticized. It's like people think that the twin flame is about the ultimate love connection, and it can be if people are doing their work and their healing. It really can come back together in an amazing way. But it requires that both people do their work. And if both people aren't doing their work and they're not healing, then it may not come back together. Again, I'm going to recommend that you read Uncommon Bonds by Jeff Brown, because it's such a beautiful depiction of this connection, and you'll see the work that has to be done to go through it, to really move through this energy, and to move toward union. It's not like, it's literally like every pain point in your life comes up in this connection, and it's an opportunity for you to heal. Now, if you're not doing the work, then you're going to continue feeling the pain. If you do the work, then you're going to start really healing and moving through it. But that's why this separation happens, because it's too much. We couldn't handle all of it at once. We couldn't deal with all of it at once. So it's like we meet, we have this connection. It's like incredible. It's beautiful. And then all the stuff starts coming up that we have to heal. And oftentimes that's when people will separate, because the intensity is too high. And so you go through this space of kind of healing, right? And you move through those things that come up, and as you heal, then it increases the possibility that you come back together. But what you do during the separation time is the critical part. Are you healing? Are you doing your work? Are you facing and integrating your demons and your dark side? Are you addressing and working through your historical trauma? Like literally, are you? And only you can answer that. But if you're not doing the work, then you can't expect things to come back together. That's just plain and simple. If you're not doing the work, like there's this saying, nothing works unless you do. So it's like people, I mean, I've had clients in the past who are like, oh, I want this to happen, I want this. And then they don't do anything, and then they don't apply any of the lessons. And then of course things aren't going to happen. So this is what this separation time is, literally a time of healing. What this is saying to me is that those couples or connections that remain in separation throughout September, this is a really powerful time. I get it, really like a very fertile time for growth, for people to really dig deep and have the healing that needs to happen. So it doesn't take an incredibly long time to heal this stuff if we continue, if we work, if we face it, if we deal with it. And so that's what I feel like is happening this month, is that people are going to start seeing things and really seeing clear patterns, and then we'll start taking the steps to heal them. That's the important thing. It's like, cool, if you're aware of it, good, that's the first step. The second step is actually doing something to heal it. And the light side is selfhood. So this is an energy of coming into one's own self. One's being confident in yourself, feeling like you don't need to, being unapologetic, being willing to shine and be bright and be all of the amazingness that you are, and not feeling like there needs to be any kind of apology attached to it. So this is a really beautiful energy. I'm really liking this for this connection. This is like people are really coming into themselves. They're really coming into who their unique expression of who they are, being confident in who they are, no longer feeling like they need to conform, no longer feeling like there's any kind of need to be accepted or acceptable by other people, but literally just being in a space of, okay, this is who I am, this is my, I'm confident in myself, I'm confident in my beliefs, and I'm just gonna stand in my truth. So it feels like as people heal, they're going to become more and more confident, more powerful. So I really I'm appreciating that for this month. So let me move this aside, and we're going to use, I'm just going to use a regular tarot deck. I left the one that I usually use, the Numinous tarot deck, I left that in a different room. So let's just see what the overall connection. So what I just did is like the umbrella energies. This is sort of the overarching energies. So we're going to look a little bit deeper. So we're going to look at the connective energies between the twin flames, the counterparts this month. I haven't used a regular tarot deck in ages. So let's see the connective energies. So we've got the Two of Wands, the World in reverse, and the Two of Swords. So interesting repetitive twos there. So the overall connective energy is the Two of Wands is kind of like getting into this space of having a vision, having a dream, and wanting to come into partnership, like moving collaboration is really that energy. So really feeling the sense of inspiration, passion, having an idea that you want to take forward into the world, and then having the willingness and the interest in being in a space of collaboration. So this could mean that there's the shared energy is just about both people who feel this passion, this energy and collaboration, wanting to move forward. Now that collaboration doesn't have to be in the physical. Now I want to remind everybody, this is a spiritual connection. If you're a true twin flame soulmate divine counterpart, this connection is primarily spiritual, soulful. You can be in collaboration spiritually and not be in communication physically if you're really doing the work. But this is a card of making plans and moving forward. Then we have the World in reverse, which is the card. The World is it's like the end of the major arcana. This is the final slot, final space. And so what I'm getting from this is that there are some cycles that are going to be coming to an end this month, but being that it's in reverse, it could mean that somebody is resisting these cycles coming to an end. And it seems to be the energy quite a bit. People resist cycles coming to an end. Now this could be you, and you're not wanting to let cycles that are happening with your twin flame come to an end. It could be them not wanting to let some cycles or let some things need to end that need to end. It's really dependent upon your own personal situation, and if it doesn't resonate for you, it's fine. It doesn't resonate. This is a general reading. Not all of these cards are going to resonate entirely accurately for everybody or the exact same way, because we're all individuals, and so it's a very general reading. But it's saying like this is an energy of somebody who really feels ready to move on. There's somebody who feels in this connection, or both parties, because it's connective, feel ready to move on, ready to take steps, ready to move forward, but feel like there are some blockages to that. So it could be, again, a million things could be blocking it. It could be fear, limiting beliefs, other people, but it's definitely a time of where people are going to be refining what it is that they want. So I feel like September is going to be a time of people really going within and doing the work to see what is it that I want, not what other people want for me, not what other what other people expect of me, but what is it that I want? What do I want to bring forward? What is it that I want for this next phase of my life? And then we have the Two of Swords, which is a card of indecision. So with these two cards together, it's saying that I really get that this energy is literally just all saying, like, there is this burning passion. There's a desire to move forward, to go into a different direction, to really take steps, and then feeling blocked, which leads to someone feeling like this indecision. Feeling like, I don't know, maybe I can't go forward, maybe I can't do this. There's also a sense of fear that I'm picking up about people moving forward and what that means. Because even in any kind of new beginning is challenging. Even there's this, when I was in grad school, we did this survey, or like we did this instrument. I don't even remember what the hell it's called, but it's basically like the life stressor scale. And it has like a bunch of items ranked 0 to 100, and it's causes, sources of stress, and things that you wouldn't expect to be on there are sources of stress, such as graduations, a new baby, a marriage, a wedding. So things that we would would consider positive experiences, or great things, they are still stressors. They're not. It's not like there's not some stress that comes with that. And so there's definitely, what I'm getting is someone feeling like, I want to move forward, I want to go in this new direction, I want to have some things, or both people feeling that way, but some fear of feeling blocked, and some fear of making that decision to move forward, because it's scary. It's scary. It's plain and simple. There's no, making a big decision and choosing to move your life forward is something that is scary. And we can't pretend that it's that easy. I mean, I know for me, they'll say things like that. It's simple, just do it. But it's not that easy. And we have to hold space for that. So what is the Divine Masculine bringing into the situation? It's got the Nine of Wands in reverse, the Eight of Swords in reverse, and the Three of Wands. So interesting energy, because the Nine of Wands, if you look at this guy, it's like he's been had the hell beat out of him, right? He's just standing there with this like bandage around his head and just feeling this like, having been through quite a conflict. I'm going to turn it around so you can see it. Right? So this is someone who's like I'm almost like a wounded warrior kind of energy. But in reverse, it's somebody who's been dealing with a lot of opposition. Again, a lot of battling kind of energies. Like, it feels like the masculines have been really having to fight for everything, just to fight their way through. And feel like it's unfair. Like, they've been working so hard and they're getting very little in return. It's like they feel like they've been just putting out everything and it's still not enough. People still aren't satisfied. They're just like trying. This literally to me is a card of just like persevering. It's just saying like, I'm just persevering. I'm just getting through. Like, I have no enjoyment. There's no joy. There's no bliss. There's no happiness in it. I'm just doing it because I need to get it done. Like, I'm just checking off the task list. It could also be somebody that's just having difficulties with keeping good boundaries and keeping themselves grounded and solid. So very interesting energies for the masculines. So then we have the Eight of Swords in reverse. The Eight of Swords is, as you can see, this is this person who is trapped, right? Bound up, trapped, conflict. But feels like they can't get loose, even though if you look at that, I mean, seriously, look, it's like if she just wiggled a little bit, she'd be able to set those, get herself free. It's like, it's not like she's bound completely tightly. She can't get out. And so she feels very, this card is a card of feeling trapped, but it's a mental prison. It's like I said, if you would just put like this card, if this person would just put some effort in, she'd be able to set herself free. But in reverse, it's saying that, that this person is feeling trapped, and they're feeling it's a mental prison of their own mind, but it's a mental prison that is really about guilt. It's about shame. It's about regret. It's somebody who is like, it's an energy that they will move through, but it feels like they're almost trapped because they're feeling like guilt and shame about moving forward from something. So it's like they could be almost like, what I'm getting is like almost like a martyr energy. Like, I don't deserve to have, like, if I move forward, then people might get hurt, and this might I might, if I change my life or if I do things differently, then it might cause other people pain, and I don't deserve to feel happy because I have all this, the stuff that I've done in the past. So it really just feels like a really intense energy. that if they do come forward, if they do want to explain something to somebody in their life that they feel like trapped with, that it might come out in like really negative ways, like an explosion, as opposed to like consciously having a conversation and having some kindness. So we've got the Three of Wands energy. This is somebody who is waiting for their ships to come in. It's like they've put their stuff out there, they've made their intentions, done their stuff, and now they're just waiting for their ships to come in. They are making plans to move forward. They could be looking at literally like this could suggest physical travel, but it feels like they could just be they're kind of like, I've done some stuff, I've put my feelers out, I've done some things, now I'm just waiting for things to come to pass. It's like sorry, I just lost my train of thought for a second. But they're definitely like just waiting for this to happen, waiting for some energy, waiting for some things that they've been putting out there. So this is, again, like this card is like been waiting, putting in a lot of work and not feeling like it's worth anything. And so this is an energy that they're still continuing to do that. They're still continuing to put out feelers. And it's like it could start, they could start seeing some of that positivity coming back to them. But it feels like it's directly connected to like getting out of this mental prison space. So I hope that made sense. There is definitely, they're not completely hopeless at this point is what I'm getting, is that they're definitely struggling. They've been through a lot. They feel like a lot of conflict, but they're not completely hopeless. They still have, what's that song say? It's like, I've still got a little fight left in me. Like they still have a little bit of fight left in them. They haven't completely just caved. So what the feminine is bringing in, the King of Wands, the Queen of Swords in reverse, and the Six of Swords. Interesting. So the King of Wands is very passionate. Wands are about passion. The wands are about spirituality, passion, can be sexuality. It's this, the energy is, the feminines really are in a space of kind of just like taking their power and applying it to things that are important to them. So this is people that are following mission. So if you have a mission, if you've been inspired to do something, if you've been like, Spirit's been telling you, like guiding you to take steps to do something, it's the energy right now is that you're going to start doing that. The feminines will start taking that energy and start going in the direction of their dreams. So if you've had passion for a while, if you've been thinking about writing a book or doing something that is creative, something that is about your passion, that feels like that Spirit's been prompting you, it's like all of the energy is there to support you. You just have to take that first step. So taking that step can be, again, if you're writing a book, to sit down and write the outline or write the idea. It's like literally taking those first steps to move forward. And then you're going to have all of the support of the universe. But this is also a caution to like, don't let your perfectionism, if you have those tendencies, to get in the way, because that will just limit you. It really feels like the feminines are ready to take passionate steps moving forward and to stay out of this energy and not get in the energy of being stuck. Okay? Just really wanting to move things forward. It says a card of wisdom and high standards. It feels, again, like the feminines are in a lot of ways kind of stepping up and being like, standing in their truth. I was talking to a neighbor yesterday evening, and we were talking about expectations in relationships. And I said there's a difference in having expectations and having standards. Expectations is like putting the responsibility on the other person. And expectations will suffocate a relationship quicker than almost anything else. I said, but having standards is a different thing, because that's about me. It isn't about the other person. Having standards and saying like, this is the standard to which you must be at if you're going to be in my life, is a different energy than I expect this of you, because expectations inevitably lead to disappointment because we're human. Having standards and saying like, this is the energy that you come to me in, or you don't come at all, is a different kind of space. So it feels like a lot of the feminines are going to be rising up into that energy of like, I don't have expectations, but I do have standards. And one of my standards is, for instance, if you're in a karmic relationship, we're not going to hang out. We're not going to spend time together. You're not going to tell me all of these things about the future that you want for me, with me, if you have a karmic partner. My standard is when you're available, fully available, and ready to come forward with an honest offer with integrity, then I'm willing to listen to you. But until that point, I'm not interested. I hope that makes sense. So then we've got the Queen of Swords in reverse, which is, there's a couple of things. You might feel as though you have like an opponent in your life. This could be an energy of like, maybe you're feeling like your masculine has become sort of like an opponent, someone oppositional in your life. This can also be just a cautionary tale that the Queen of Swords can be kind of vengeful and can kind of say things that are mean and that are harsh. And you don't want to be in that energy. You want to really be mindful of that. But this is definitely also an energy of somebody who can make excuses for bad behavior. So if you have been feminines making excuses for bad behavior, what I'm getting with this overall layout is just, if you look at this is someone who rises up in her confidence. This is someone who has historically made excuses for bad behavior. I've done it. I think we've all done it in some way at some point in our lives, where we like excuse things that shouldn't happen, and then we get pissed off because somebody doesn't treat us the way that we think they should, and then we're mad at them, and we're like, well, we didn't protect ourselves. Like, we made excuses. We didn't hold that standard. We kind of let people come into our orbit, and they come in with like negative or, you know, not authentic energy or lacking integrity. And then when they do what they do, then we're pissed off because we're like, well, F that person. Like, they didn't treat me the way that I wanted to be treated. But we have to be mindful of the fact that like, people only treat us, let me say this with a caveat, because people can treat us in negative ways that we don't participate in. But in this particular instance, what I'm getting is that a lot of feminines, myself included, have participated in some of these ways, where it's like, if you know, for instance, we're going to go back to the karmic situation, that your counterpart is in a karmic situation, and then you still choose to engage with them, and you still choose to fall in love, and you still choose to be intimate with them, and then they go back to their karmic partner, and then you're pissed off because you're like, well, you know, this, that, and the other. And it's like, well, yeah, but we knew, you know the situation. You knew what the situation was up front, and like, was it okay? What they did right? No, absolutely not. However, if you participated in it, if you knew the truth, if you knew the facts, and you still participated, then you kind of don't get to be it's not healthy to go into the victim stance and feel like you were victimized by something. And that's not, again, for everybody, because there will be some people whose partners behaved in different ways, that maybe they weren't honest, or they, whatever. The point is like, clean up your side of the street. Okay, that's the point. That's what this card is saying, is like, instead of staying in this space of feeling victimized and feeling like somebody did you wrong, take ownership for the way that you participated, the ways in which you weren't fully authentic with yourself and engaged in a relationship, or in ways that weren't beneficial to you. So clean up your own side of the street. Take ownership for what you can take ownership for, so that you can move on from this energy. This Six of Swords is a card about moving on from a situation or a relationship that's no longer serving, that's not bringing peace, that's not bringing harmony. It's like literally moving away from it. It's like saying, okay, it's the opportunity to just take a break, to rest, to recharge, to take care of yourself, to really be in a space of just kind of almost like just taking a break, taking a time out from the situation. So what I get from this is that as long as we're in this energy of being like feeling victimized, or feeling like someone didn't do us right, someone wasn't fair to us, then it keeps us stuck. Okay, when you take back your power and take back your energy of what, dealing with what you can heal. So there's like with the Serenity Prayer, Alcoholics Anonymous is like, God, give me the strength to take care of the things that I can, to like not worry about the things that I can't, and the wisdom to know the difference. I'm totally misquoting it. I'm just ad-libbing right now. But basically that's what this is saying. Like, this is a time I really feel very clearly that the feminines are going to take care of the things that they can, release the things that they can't, and are going to move on from the situation that's been causing pain, and move into a space of peace and freedom and harmony. So what is ahead for the connection? Well, we got the Seven of Swords, the Eight of Pentacles in reverse, and the Star. Interesting. So the Seven of Swords, this is a card of deceit. I see this card as something like the thief in the night. This is somebody who comes in, kind of sneaks around. If you look at this character, he's like, I don't even know, like the outfit doesn't match, the tents are back here, and it's like he's grabbing these swords and like running off. This is an energy of, you know, the thief in the night, somebody who comes in, takes some things, some kind of transgression. This is some kind of thing that causes pain. It could be somebody who feels like your partner's being selfish, just comes in and takes and doesn't give. You know, this is an energy that could be that kind of energy. Now, interesting, because it feels like, I almost get that somebody might try that. Somebody might try to come in and be like, you know, come in and dip into your awesome sauce and then run off once they've got what they want. They might try to do that. But I'm really getting this sense of you, whoever that person is. So you can be the divine masculine or divine feminine in this situation and have somebody that does that. You could be your counterpart has been in that space where they will come and they take and then they take off. And it's like they come in and they get spend time with you. They feel like you re-energize them. You help them feel confident, whatever. And then once they feel good, they're off and running again. But what I'm getting from this is almost that the energy of I don't like this phrase because it sounds a little manipulative, but I don't mean it in a manipulative way. But like playing them at their own game, like recognizing, if you recognize that this is a pattern and you recognize that this is what they do, it's you kind of being like, nope, this isn't happening, and interrupting and breaking that pattern and saying like, no, this is not gonna. This isn't going to help. This isn't happening because it's not helpful. And so really being able to be mindful and be vigilant of the fact of patterns and history and taking care of yourself in the process. Because we have this energy of somebody that feels trapped. This is somebody who feels like, you know, I chose this particular path and I don't know how to go forward or how to get out of it. This is someone who, you know, chooses biology as a major and then in their junior year realizes that they want to, you know, study women's studies, and they're like, well, damn, I'm gonna have to do an extra year of college because I decided this if I change majors. And so it's somebody who's feeling kind of trapped in what they're trying to do. But this is also saying that there's a cycle that's about to come to an end. This is a card of cycles ending. And I honestly get this, that when you draw that line, when you're like, look, I understand how this connection has gone in the past. This isn't to say that the person who's dipping in and dipping out is a bad person. It's saying that this is a person who has inadequate coping skills and doesn't know how to relate well with others. And they do this because it's worked in the past. They do this because it's serving them. Now, if you say, no, this isn't going to happen anymore, it's going to actually bring that cycle to an end where they're either going to have to rise up and, like, you know, king or queen up and become the divine being that they're meant to be. Or they're going to have to take some time apart until they can figure out what it is that they want and choose a different path. But at the end of the day, we've got the Star, which is a hope. I mean, this is a card of like hopefulness. This is a card of like, you know, feeling just like there is hope ahead. There's possibility. It's the Star is, you know, feeling inspired. It's feeling stable. This card is also saying that there is somebody for you. Okay, this is somebody for you. The Star card is an indicator of like a soulmate, like a soul-based connection. So this could be confirming that this is a soul-based connection for you, and it could also be suggesting like that you could say no more of this thief in the knife shit. Like, I'm done with this. I'm putting an end to this cycle. And when you do that, it creates space for you to attract and bring in somebody else that is willing and ready to meet you on your level. It doesn't mean forever, okay? I know twin flame connections who met, went into separation, stayed separated for years, worked on their own stuff, grew, developed, and had soulmates and partners in that time, and had really great, beautiful connections that also helped heal and transform. And then when that cycle was done, they were able to come back together with their counterpart. So I really feel like for some of you that have been holding on, like that have been in this energy and when you finally put an end to it, what's going to happen is that it's either A, going to like make your counterpart rise up and be the person that you need them to be. I'm not, again, not saying do this just because of that, but I'm saying it could be the catalyst that they need. But there's definitely romance ahead, whatever that looks like. Okay, if you're only open to having romance with your twin flame, then that may not apply to you. If you're open to having a romantic, intimate, loving, deep connection with somebody other than your twin flame, that could be what this is saying, is that that is coming for you, that there is somebody that's waiting. And I really get this energy like that there's somebody that's there, that's prepared, and that's waiting for you to really set this boundary of no, you don't get to come in and steal from me anymore. And when you do that, when you set that boundary and say no, enough is enough, then it's going to cause this like what's the word I'm looking for, like a domino effect, where things are going to start taking, you know, dynamic energy forward in your life, because it's going to be like you finally being in a space of loving yourself enough to not settle for anything that doesn't serve you. So I'm going to move this aside. This reading is really long so far. Okay, so let's look at, I want to look at the blocks. And I'm using a new deck that I got. It's the Universal Love Healing Oracle Cards by Tony Carmine Solero. It's an absolutely gorgeous deck. Let me just look at what are the blocks, Spirit? What's blocking this connection right now? Birth and blessings. Interesting. Okay, so I get really just right off the top is that what's blocking it is that there's a new birth that needs to happen. There's something that needs to shift, something that needs to change. And there's growing pains. Like think about childbirth. Well, if you've never had kids, then you don't, you know, it's different. But or if you've ever watched it, if you watch like videos or whatever, you can see that there's contractions, there's pain, it's difficulty, it's difficult. It's not like new birth coming forward is an easy process. And so what I'm getting from this is part of what's blocking it is just that something needs to be birthed right now. Something new, a new way of being, a new way of seeing things, new life that needs to come to pass, and that we just have to be willing to go through the birth pains, right? It's like you don't get to have a new baby, bring something new life into this world without some pain associated with it. It's challenging, and it feels like a lot of people have been avoiding the pain. So if you've been in a space of self-medicating or avoiding, that's actually keeping you from being able to birth what needs to be birthed. Interestingly enough, what just came to mind is I had a girlfriend that was when she had her oldest, she had 4 kids, and the oldest 2 were she had epidurals, and she said that it actually made the birth longer and more difficult because she couldn't feel what she needed to do. It was like you can't, you're numb, so you can't tell when you need to push, and you can't, you know, so she is like, it actually made it longer and harder. And so it feels like if you're numbing, if you're trying to block things out, then that's actually contributing to this situation being blocked. And then this, to me, this card is literally what it's saying to me is like, count your blessings. Look at the situation. Look at your life, all of the gifts that you have. You've been showered with blessings thus far in your life. Things have been amazing. Even this connection, even with the difficulties that come with a twin flame connection, it's like there is a blessing associated with it. I mean, I've said this before, but I look at it and I'm like, there are things that I was thinking about, like I needed to shift in my life for a long time. Like literally, I was in that what we call like the pre-contemplative phase of making changes. But I was sitting there like, I should probably change this. I should probably do this different. I should, whatever. And I just didn't do it. Like I would think about it, but I would never take the steps to do it. And then it was like meeting my counterpart and having this like amazing connection, all of this stuff. It really was like this catalyst. It was like this out of the gate energy for me where I was like, I don't want any of this stuff. I don't want to be the reason that I'm holding this, I don't want to hold this connection back because I'm unwilling to face my shit and do the hard work. And so that is a blessing. it has been a blessing, because I'm like, even if no matter what happens in that connection, I'm a better person already, much better person. Like my life is very different. And so that's the blessing. So too many people focus on, we're not together, we're not in union, and that sucks, and I'm in so much pain, and that you're missing the blessing of the connection. And if you can't find the blessings in what this connection has done for you, or where it's brought you, or the gift of it, then you're going to continue to be stuck. So let me move this aside. And what is the advice from Spirit? Look at that. Expect miracles. I mean, that's literally what just came through. So expectancy is, again, I say this all the time. You guys probably get sick of hearing me, but I say it because it's important. Expectations, in the sense of expecting miracles, is one thing. Expecting miracles in a specific way is a whole other thing, and it'll block you in ways that you can't even imagine. Expect miracles, but understand that miracles are miracles. They're not going to necessarily show up the way that you think they are. So expect miracles. Expect that things are going to, that abundance is going to be yours, and that you're going to be blessed beyond all, reason, and that everything is going to work to your highest good. But don't expect it to look a certain way. And don't expect that it's going to show up in exactly the way that you think it should. So if you're like, I am expecting a financial miracle, and then you have all these conditions attached to it where it's like, and it's going to come this way from this person, from this, then it's like, well, now you're kind of taking it into your own hands, and you're telling the universe what to do. Whereas if you're like, I expect a financial miracle, and I'm open to whatever way it shows up, that's a different kind of expectancy, okay? So it's expectations without attachment to how they're supposed to look or what it's supposed to be. Just being open to the miracles, because there are miracles that want to happen. I mean, this can't be any more clear. There are miracles that want to come through, and whatever that looks like for you. What is it that you want? You want bliss, you want happiness, you want joy, you want a sacred soul connection where you feel loved and adored, and with the partner who's generous, who's kind, who's conscious, who's self-aware. Whatever that is, it's like, open yourself up to the miracles, because maybe it's gonna come in a way that you don't expect. But if you're not open to miracles, and you have attachments to and expectations attached to what it should look like, you're actually going to limit your ability to receive that. So I'm going to go ahead and move these aside, and I'm going to look at, we're already at 42 minutes, so I'm going to do this a little bit differently. But I want to look at what your counterpart, so I'm using what is this? Notes from the Universe on Love and Connection. And so basically what I want to look at here is, what is it that you're, just the love energy that your counterpart would like you to, give you some insight to what's going on with them. So what's going on with the love interest, the divine counterpart, the sacred sidekick, twin flame, in their heart space? So they want you to know that, well, where they are in their heart space is that love is never in vain. So it's saying, when you finally see that what this whole time space thing is all about, you're going to laugh, you're going to cry, and you're going to be so happy you loved as much as you did. Dotingly, the universe. So in their headspace, I think I said headspace, that's what they're understanding, that love is never in vain. It's never a mistake. Love is never a mistake. Heart space. Let me just shuffle one more time. Do something new, something different. Ever notice how it's easier to fall in love and to be fallen in love with when you're busy? Thank goodness I'm you. The universe. So this is that they're in their heart space, they're thinking about doing something different. They're starting to realize that what they've been doing isn't working, and they need to do something different. So it's really beautiful. In their physical space, you're being watched by loving eyes. What if you're actually an ancient gladiator of love and joy, who agreed to visit Earth during these primitive years to spark some new thinking, share a few smiles, and help others discover they too are awesome? Just saying, the universe. P.S. Up for a joust? Of course, with rubber thingies. So literally, you guys, this is, to me, what the message on this card is literally that they're understanding to some extent that they are, the spiritual twin flame. This says, look, who agreed to visit Earth during these primitive years and spark some new thinking. That's a paradigm shift. That's what twin flames are supposed to do. Physically, in their physical world, they're starting to understand that. This may be that they've started watching videos, or they got a reading, or they came across something that has confirmed this to them, or it's like it illuminated it to them, and they're really starting to in the physical world be aware of it. And this card jumped out, so I wanted to show you just an additional message. Create space for new love. When a thing hurts your eyes, stop looking at it. When it hurts your ears, stop listening to it. And when it hurts your heart, stop justifying it. I love you so much. I really feel like that came through earlier this week in a different reading. And it feels like that's just a really salient message for people right now. Like we were just talking about, you can end a cycle to that. If people are coming in and stealing your awesome sauce and then dipping out, like you can end that. You can stop allowing that to happen. And it feels like this is what it's saying. Create space for new love. And doesn't mean that you're cutting off your twin flame or your connection. It's just saying that you're creating space for them to rise higher and be the partner that you need. So let's move this aside. And I'm going to pull, because I really love this deck. This is the Talk to Me Like I'm Someone You Love. So what is it that they want you to know? What is it that if they could speak to you right now, what would they say to you? So I feel like I'm going to pull 3 cards for this. These cards have writing on them on both sides, and so I'm just going to close my eyes and pull. So what would they say if they could communicate with you right now? It's hard admitting I might be wrong. Okay. 2 more cards, Spirit. 2 more cards. Okay. We need a new perspective. Let's take a break and each get clear about what matters here, okay? Interesting. And another message, what they would say to you if they could speak right now. I would love it if we could just be quiet and hold each other. So this is saying, like, let's maybe just take a break from, the talking and trying to figure shit out and just be in a space of love and compassion and kindness. So, this is... The deck is Talk to Me Like I'm Someone You Love by Nancy Dreyfus. She does a lot of reading or books on relationship. I think I actually took a training from her once. And so this is just love messages from their higher self to you. That's how we're going to wrap this up. So that card clearly wants to come out. And I feel like there's one more message. So this is, what does their higher self want you to know? Messages from their higher self to you about what they're thinking, how they're feeling. Okay. And this is overall throughout September. This is kind of, the messages of September. You may not always understand why certain things happen. However, there is always a higher purpose to the events in your life. Through turmoil, a blessing will soon be revealed. Beautiful. When you pass from this world, you take nothing with you but your soul and the memories you have shared with those you love. That always confirms to me soul connections. Next message, a message for you. I'm thinking of you at this very moment. Your love fills me with light. I love you. Beautiful. And then finally, surrender. At times we must surrender the old before something new can enter our lives. Let go and all will work out. So very beautiful messages here. I hope that it resonated. Please let me know if you have any questions. And again, if you want to book a private reading with me, the information on how to do that is in the description box. Or you can click the little icons in the bottom right of the cover photo, and that will take you to my instant go, my scheduling page, or to YouTube if you want to make an energy exchange donation because you just love the work that's being done here. So thanks again so much. I love you all. Have a great rest of your day, and I'll be back soon with the readings for the rest of the week. I'll talk with you soon. Take care. Bye.